Good morning, students. In the last class, we read about the three different types of maps. Today, in this session, we will learn about the components of the map. So, before beginning, children, to read and understand a map, we need to understand certain things such as distance, direction, and symbols. And all these things together help us to understand the map in a better way. So, the three components of the map are: the first is the direction, the second is the first is the distance, the second is the direction, and the third is the symbols. So, today in this session, we will deal with the topic distance. So, maps are the drawings which reduce the entire world or a part of it to fit on a sheet of paper. Or we can say maps are drawn to reduced scales. But this reduction is done very carefully so that the distance between the places is real. It can only be possible when a small distance on a paper represents a large distance on the ground. Therefore, a scale is chosen for this purpose. Now, children, you all know that map is the drawing of a part or whole of the earth on a sheet of paper. So, maps are smaller than the real place or area shown on it. Of course, it is smaller, maps are smaller than the places that are shown on it. For example, you all have seen map of India. Do you think that the total size of India can be shown on a single piece of paper? The total area or the total extent of India will be in thousands of kilometers. So, do you think, children, thousands of kilometers can be shown on a single piece of paper? Of course, it's not possible. We would require 1,000-kilometer paper to show such an extent on a piece of paper. But the people who make maps do it. They show the whole of India on a single piece of paper. So, how is it done? How are the ones who make the maps make it possible? So, children, this is done when we reduce the scale of the map. Now, here the term scale doesn't mean the scale which you are using to draw lines, the ruler which you use, which you people are using to draw the lines. We are not talking about that. Here, scale means measurement. So, when we reduce the scale of the map, we have to be very careful so that the distance between the place is real and that it doesn't get changed. So, children, it is possible only when a small distance on paper, I repeat, when a small distance on paper will show or will represent a large distance on the ground. So, we use a scale so that the drawing is in exact same proportion of shape and distance. For example, here, this is the map of India. This is the map of India. Now, for example, children, from the northernmost point to the southernmost point, if you measure it with the help of a scale or ruler, you will get close about, it will range from about 10 centimeters to 15 centimeters. You may assume any number. For example, if the total length from northernmost point to the southernmost point is 15 centimeter from your scale, do you really think that in reality from northernmost point to the southernmost point India measures only 15 centimeter? The total distance is 15 centimeter? No, that is not the case. It extends in thousands of kilometers. But the ones who make the map are showing it only in centimeters. So what are they doing? They are not disturbing the shape of the map. They are not changing the shape of the map. The shape remains the same. But what are they doing? They are just reducing the numbers. So what are they doing? They are using small distance on paper and representing a larger distance on the ground. So a small distance on the map will show a larger distance on the ground. So that is how a map is made. Now, what is a scale? A scale is the ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. So this is the definition of a scale, that the scale is a ratio. It is a ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. Now, here an example is given that the distance between your school and your home is 10 kilometers. If you show this 10 kilometer distance by 2 on a map, it means 1 centimeter on the map will show 5 kilometers on the ground. The scale of your drawing will be 1 centimeter is equal to 5 kilometer. Thus, the scale is very important in any map. Now, I will show you. Here, you can see I have made a small diagram wherein I have written school and home, and the distance between school and home is 10 kilometer. So this 10 kilometer distance is on the ground. It is in real. From your school to your home, the distance is 10 kilometers in real or on the ground. Now, if we have to show this distance by 2 centimeter on the map, for example, if you have to tell your friend, if you are making a map and telling your friend that this is where my house is and this is where my school is, of course you are not going to draw the exact 10-kilometer line now. You are going to shorten it. You're going to shorten it as short as you are going to make it as short as possible, so that the person understands also and he has got a fair amount of idea that okay, from here till here the distance is 10 kilometer. So children, we are just assuming that we will show this distance by 2 centimeter on the map. This is an assumed value, that 2 centimeter is an assumed value for our convenience, because we can easily divide it by 10. Sorry, we can easily divide it by 2. 10 can be easily divided by 2. So, which means that if 2 centimeter is equal to 10 kilometers, 2 centimeter is equal to 10 kilometers, then 1 centimeter will be equal to 5 kilometer. So if I am drawing 1 centimeter line, that means that it is 5 kilometers on the ground. So if I am drawing one line of 1 centimeter and one line of 1 centimeter again, that means that in 2 centimeter I am showing 10 kilometer distance. So every 1 centimeter on the map will show 5 kilometers on the ground. Therefore, the scale of the map is 1 centimeter is equal to 5 kilometer. So every 1 centimeter on the map will show 5 kilometers on the ground. So this value is only for this example that was given in your book. Every map has a different scale. The scale of the map keeps on changing, and the scale of the map is given at the very corner on the right hand side, or sometimes on the left hand side corner. The scale of every map is given. If you have an atlas at your home, open it and see, you will find a scale which is written. So children, this was the example to show you that how the scale of the map works. So I'll tell again that the scale of the map is the ratio between the actual distance on the ground, to the distance on the map, or to the distance shown on the paper. So, the scale is very important in any map. If you know the scale, you will be able to calculate the distance between any two places on a map. So, children, if we know the scale, we can calculate the distance between any two places on the map very easily. Now, there are two types of maps. There are small scale maps and then there are the large scale maps. So, what is a small scale map? When large areas like continents or countries are to be shown on a paper, then we use small scale. For example, 5 centimeter on the map shows 500 kilometers of the ground. It is called a small scale map. So children, here it is a bit confusing. Why? I'll tell you. The small scale map is showing larger areas and a large scale map is showing a smaller area. It is just the opposite. The small scale map is showing a large area like continent and countries, and a small scale map is showing smaller areas like your village or the town in which you are living. So, the small scale map covers a large area of the earth and show only large areas in small space. The example can be the map of the continents and countries, and these are drawn on small scales. For example, here, this is a small scale map because what are we doing? We are representing the whole of the country or continent in a smaller area. In a smaller area, we are trying to show the entire continent or a country. That is why we cannot afford to show more details in such type of maps because the space is less. That is why for such type of maps we use small scale maps. And as you can see, very fewer details is given over here. This means that it is a small scale map. Whereas a large scale map, when a smaller area like your village or town is to be shown on a paper, we use a large scale. That is 5 centimeter on the map shows 500 meters only on the ground. It is called a large scale map. So here if you see, this is a large scale map because it is showing every detail, every possible detail of the various things that are around me. So this map is giving us more detail than the previous one. So this is a large scale map, and large scale map covers a small area and shows a large amount of detail. So this type of map is covering a small area but showing more details than the small scale maps. And the example of large scale maps can be the map of a colony you are living in or a street. So this is the large scale map, and the scales will also be different in both the cases. In a small scale map, every 5 centimeters on the map will show 500 kilometers. Imagine 5 centimeter on the map will show 500 kilometer. The value is very big, but a small scale map will show 5 centimeter on the map. It shows 500 meters on the ground. 500 is a smaller value than 500 kilometers. Kilometer is a bigger unit and meters is a smaller unit. So large scale map will show large scale map will show 5 centimeter on the map, and that 5 centimeter will show 500 meters on the ground. So large scale map gives us more information than the small scale map. Obviously, if the large scale map is giving me more detailed information, then it is obviously giving me more information than a small scale map. So children, I hope the concept of distance is clear to you. But if you have any doubt, you can message me on Campus Care. I will be there to solve all your doubts. And the thing is, children, read this portion again and again so that it becomes clear to you. But if you still have doubt, you can message me, and I will see you in the next session. Thank you, children.